Hey, everybody. I'm Jeff Pollard at solarpoweredpeople.org and Jeff Pollard 11 on Instagram. We have another great episode with another great guest. Who are you? What are you about?
My name is Laura Lockwood, and I'm a freelance voice actor.
Okay. And tell us, is that anything voice related? Do you do commercials, movies, audiobooks, anything of that sort?
All things of that sort. Yeah, I mean, every day is different. Kind of whatever comes across my desk, I record the script and send it back out. So that could be anything from like, a work e-learning, safety,
Yeah,
those things you got to slog through when you're first hired at a job and they tell you all the rules you have to follow.
yeah.
Might be my voice that's telling you what you have to do. um Commercials, radio, TV, video game characters, a lot of audiobooks. Yeah, it runs the gamut.
Yeah, people, I'm just putting this little caveat out there, but like people don't realize sometimes they go, oh, like a 3D Pixar movie, and it's like there are so many jobs for so many like minute things.
Oh yeah,
You could keep busy with a lot of things, and they're cool when you're in the industry. But there's sometimes they're just like, oh, you made a little thing here. No, like so you could
yeah.
definitely keep busy.
Yeah, I mean, a lot of like when I tell people I'm a voice actor, they're like, oh, anything that I would have heard. I'm like, I do you work for like Intuit? I mean, maybe if you took like a training course there once, you might have recognized my voice. It's a lot of stuff that the mainstream might not hear, but that's kind of how I like it. I can fly under the radar.
Well, do they like you in particular? Like, I don't know if people have told you you have a very distinct voice, or do they say the opposite, where they're like, no, we like your voice because it meshes with everybody, or,
I
what'd
think
you
in
get growing
recent
up?
years it's been a really good time to have the voice I have because it's I kind of have like a natural, like, I don't know, croakiness or like kind of real nature to my voice. It's not like the um old commercials often used like female voiceovers of like very smooth, buttery voices for like beauty products and skincare and fashion. And I'm like, hey guys, what we're gonna do today is, it's like much more like literally every single day I'll get somebody asking or giving me the direction to like sound like I'm a friend talking to a friend or like a neighbor recommending something. And I think my voice kind of lends to
Yeah.
that kind of style, not so much like a very professional sounding, like buttery perfect
Yeah.
everything, no flaws whatsoever, but it's like kind of purposely flawed in a fun way.
Sure. No, I mean, people find to get, well, correct me if I'm wrong, but sometimes you get more work when you have that. Because, like, I can't think of any one particular person right now, but it's like their voice is so distinct. You're like, that's blah, blah, blah right off the bat. And it's like, it kind of takes you
Totally,
away because you're like, I know who that is versus your job was just to get the context out. Have you
totally.
ever, this is just kind of another one. Have you ever watched a show called Toast of London?
No, should I?
Yeah, I mean it's a total comedy. It's a BBC thing. It has
I
the
love
one
BBC.
actor from What We Do in the Shadows.
Oh
But
yeah.
anyway, he is an actor, but he does a lot of voice acting things, and I feel like it's a comical way to express what he has to do in the voice acting studio and all that stuff. And so if you've heard
Oh
of
my God,
it,
I'll have to check it out.
check it out. Yeah, it's actually, BBC. They only have like 3 seasons and they've all taken like 10 years to make, but it's entertaining. It's a comedy version of what you can expect from Laura. Um, how did you get into this? What made you want to do it?
It was a very long journey with lots of twists and turns. I was originally going to go into psychology. Right after college, I got my undergrad degree in psych and French, and was on the cusp of pursuing a doctorate in psychology, but did that for a summer in an internship and was already kind of tired of the repetition. And I was like, this might not be for me if I'm already tired of it. What is something that I could possibly do like every day of my career for the rest of my life and not get tired of it? I can't think of anything like that. Like I just do funny voices.
Yeah.
My friend was like, you could be a voice actor. And I was like, yeah, I'll just go be a voice actor. I'll just go do voiceover for the rest of my life. It's like, there are people that do that. There are classes you can take. And so I was like, oh, maybe, maybe I'll check that out. And so I went to school for it in the Bay Area. There's a voice acting school there called Voice Tracks SF. I
Okay.
took a bunch of classes there and had a private voice coach in the Bay, and got my demo made and made my website after like 2 years of just practicing and practicing and being coached along the way. And just did it as like a side hustle. Never thought that it would be my full-time gig. I just kind of like thought it was a fun side hobby to have and like make
Yeah.
some cash. And that built over the past 11 years. And then the big twist in the road was I was on a morning show, a morning radio show here in Portland, Maine, where I still live. And that was kind of the big like step into voiceover as like a daytime job. Um, and then as radio is very tumultuous, the show switched up and I got laid off. So it
Yeah.
was kind of a blessing in disguise. I absolutely never would have like left that gig. It was really fun.
Okay.
But that was kind of the push I needed to be like, maybe I'll just try full-time freelancing and see if I can make it work. And once I was able to like put a lot of time in it, day in, day out, it really took off. And that was 4 years ago now.
Okay.
Here I am.
Now you've already made like a few points. This is kind of a double question, but like you've made a few points of how to get. The first question is like, what would you say? You made a demo reel. Is it like being an actor where there's sites that go looking for voice acting work and then you just kind of apply to it? Or is there some other weird thing? And then the second question, when you can, is what's a goal for you that you want to hit with your voice acting?
Um, so first question, yeah, I kind of get work in a lot of different ways. Obviously, there are voice actors who are like union, live in LA, work through agencies, but there are a ton of us out there that just work from home, like I do here in Maine, and hustle day in
Yeah.
and day out.
Okay.
So I have my website with my demo reel on it that was like professionally recorded. I've updated it through the years and kind of switched out parts here and there. But my first demo I recorded with my voice coach in San Francisco. Um, and then now my day-to-day is working through 3 or 4 freelance sites, some of which are for like all kind of freelance, not just voiceover, and a
Uh-huh.
couple of which are exclusively voiceover. And now I've kind of built a roster of clients that use me directly, like they just email back and forth.
Sure.
Um, and that took lots of years to develop, but now there's a solid list of people that just reach out to me directly. They might have found me on a website, on one of those freelance sites early on, and then eventually, took it off the website or found me through Google. A lot of them I don't even know how I came across their desk, but here we are, and that's great.
Yeah, that means you were somewhere out there.
Yeah. Um, for a goal, I mean, unfortunately, I think a ton of the voices you hear in like mainstream movies and Pixar and everything are like SAG-AFTRA actors who aren't just voice actors. They're like famous actors, The Rock,
Yeah,
Aquafina, that like you recognize their voice immediately, and that's the appeal. Um, I think it was a little easier in like the 80s, 90s to book a cartoon movie that you're just a voice actor and they're using you because your voice is perfect for the character and not because people will know who you are.
yeah.
So that's changed a little bit. I would love to be a voice in like a major
Yeah,
film, but
alright.
that I feel like I've kind of chosen the road of like the hustle day in, day out and live where I want, which is kind of the dream. I'm living the dream.
Oh, that's awesome. I just,
Yeah.
not sure if you ever have that next step that you want to hit.
Yeah.
Thank you for saying all that. Just to kind of like wrap it up, I do like to finish this with a question where it's like a one-off. If you could make the world a better place, a little less stressful, just, something of that nature, the advice could be big or small, anything you could think of. What do you got for us?
Oh man. I mean, when my dad dropped me off at school every morning, he would say, learn a lot. which has kind of become like a silent mantra that I tell myself when I'm going into kind of any situation that like is causing me anxiety or stress. Especially live sessions whenever clients really want me to hop on a Zoom and record something live. Most of my work is just me recording on my own, and so those
Mm.
live sessions still a decade later make me real nervous, and I just go in being like, "All right, be curious, be open, learn a lot." Like,
Learn a
this
lot.
could go horribly, but I will have learned something on the other
Yes,
sid, right?
so much truth
So
there.
yeah, that's what I would have to say. Stay curious, learn a lot.
Stay curious, learn a lot. Thank you so much.
Yeah.
Well, thank you, Laura. You can find her when the information pops up where information can be found. I appreciate it so much for chatting with us. All right. Take care,
Yeah, thanks for
everybody.
having me.
Hey, everybody. I have some exciting news. I wrote another kid's book, Uncle Duncle. I drew the pictures, I wrote the story. Please support. I'd really appreciate it. I also wrote The Giraffe and the Lion. That's another one. So collect them all if you have kids or if you don't. It's just a fun read. Really appreciate it. Take care, everybody.